This week, I'll be reviewing one of the most influential sci-fi movies of all time, Alien, singular. Now, I'm already preparing for a comment war about which is better, the original, directed by Ridley Scott of Blade Runner and Black Hawk Down fame, or the sequel, cleverly titled Aliens, directed by James Cameron of Terminator and Avatar, the Good One fame. They're both great movies, but in different genres, and the directors used their talents appropriately. Alien was made as a response to Star Wars, which had come out a year earlier and inspired Scott by the potential of large-scale, effects-driven films. So he made a low-budget movie without any CGI. It was all practical effects, small-scale models, makeup, rubber suits, and other things you associate with low budgets. Except the Commodore 64 that controls the ship. It's 100 years in the future, but computers have actually gotten worse. That's hilarious! Yet it made back its $11 million, originally $4.2 million, but boosted by their confidence in Ridley Scott's storyboards, budget nearly 20-fold and launched a decades-long franchise. For reference, the James Bond movie released in the same year, Moonraker, had a budget of $34 million. Alien inspired a lot of other fiction over the years, from the obvious like the video game series Metroid to the not-so-obvious like Moon, which I reviewed last week. As far as I can tell, it created the idea of deep space mining ships with cold sleep, which is the premise of many stories when it goes wrong, and the facehugger and chestburster monster types, which have been used in all kinds of action and horror movies. The mysterious signal that they interpret as an SOS, waking the crew, which later turns out to be because of corporate interests, and the planetary extinction level type of aliens are also concepts that I don't think have been used before. If you know any examples of things that did it before, leave a comment. At the beginning of the movie, the crew is a bit fractured, with the mechanics wanting to get a cut of the commissions that the miners are getting.
Before we dock, I think we ought to discuss the bonus situation.
Right.
Brett and I, we think we deserve full shares, right, baby?
You see, Mr. Park and I feel that the bonus situation has never been on an equitable level.
Well, you get what you contracted for like everybody else.
Yes, but everybody else gets more than us.
This setup of group cohesion falling apart as you go in sets you up to be prepared for backstabbing, mutiny, and so on, but fortunately that never happens. One of the rules of horror, avert expectations. Surprisingly, though, misconduct after misconduct comes from Ash, the science officer, who should be the last person to break quarantine, and, as everyone finds out, a robot following the corporate orders to catch and bring out any aliens. He does it subtly, though, first opening the airlock to save the crew outside, though really to bring the alien in, and later to avoid anyone harming the chestburster.
Don't touch it! Don't touch it!
More on him later, though. The scene where some of the crew goes out to explore the planet is filled with fear flags. Solitude equals fear. Unseeable equals fear. Unknown equals fear. Quiet equals fear. They combine for the perfect storm of what should be these idiots' warning signs blaring, especially after they find the dead alien with its chest burst open. But instead they keep going, testing to see what's going on until the facehugger attacks one of them. Astronauts, am I right?
Hey, Ripley.
Right here.
We're clean. Let us in.
What happened to Kane?
Something has attached itself to him. We have to get him to the infirmary right away.
What kind of thing? I need a clear definition.
An organism. Open the hatch.
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected. You know the quarantine procedure.
24 hours for decontamination.
Being left out of the ship because of quarantine is also a terrifying thought. Ripley is an interesting character, or at least the way she is presented is. She starts as a background character with hardly any lines or screen time. You'd think one of the others would fit the hero role, but they keep playing the hero, and you get killed off. Aside from maintaining the quarantine, which, if you didn't know what to expect, would make you kind of hate her as a character, she acts with intelligence for the most part. While everyone else is attacking the alien, she's sneaking around and escaping from it, flamethrower still in hand. It's like she's the only one that realizes she's in a horror movie. The alien and everything on the planet was designed by H.R. Giger. and if you'd never heard of him, you can either count yourself lucky or disappointed. He's what made all forms of the alien horrifyingly unique, and not just something inhuman that wants to get you. The alien, or the xenomorph as it will be known years later, is the star of the show here, just like slasher movies are never about all the people that get killed. It makes for an amazing villain, since you never know what will happen next, especially if you first saw this in 1979. Anyone watching a movie with something resembling a facehugger form now knows what's going to happen with it, unless the creators make an intentional aversion of expectations. The facehugger is interesting because its only goal in life is to basically impregnate someone's throat. After that happens and it keeps them alive for a while, it just withers up and dies. It's like a species of its own, or a part of a hive culture, another thing kind of confirmed in the sequels. When the small, and probably less dangerous chestburster form comes out, Ash tells no one to touch it, which, while being a smart move, is also one of those things that keeps everyone from killing it and lets him fulfill his new mission. There are a few moments like these that you don't really notice because they make sense at the time, but when the plot twist is revealed, looking back at them, it seems not obvious but notable. The part when Kane starts to thrash around because of the chestburster was one of those scenes where they were able to get a perfect first take, because of directorial trickery. Everyone knew about the chestburster itself, but they didn't know that there would be blood spraying everywhere. It seems like the kind of thing that's self-explanatory, but whatever. So they were able to get some genuine reactions, which a lot of people think sounded fake, ironically enough. After the chestburster runs away, they go to capture it, and Jones, aka Jump Scare Cat, scares them and distracts them alternatively. I swear, this cat is the master of jump scares. He even sets up jump scares for the alien. Stupid cat. Meanwhile, the chestburster has somehow gained like 20 times the amount of body mass that it should have, and is now a full-fledged xenomorph. Parker throws together some maintenance equipment into flamethrowers so they could at least cause some pain and throw it out of the airlock, but it manages to outsmart them. Ash praised it as the perfect predator.
You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you? Perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility.
You admire it.
I admire its purity.
Not something we want to hear as it's going through the crew one by one. When he attacks Ripley, a scene similar to the one with the chestburster happens, but he's stronger, with a purpose, and unstoppable even after having his head fall off. After finding out that the ship has essentially locked her out and everyone's getting killed off, Ripley goes for the plan that they were discussing earlier. Self-destruct the ship and hope for the best, while escaping in the shuttle. Here's where I have a problem with the plot, because there's a bunch of problems, which, after doing some research, was probably because they were able to add the last section, which is great, unlike the part that connects it to the rest of the plot, because of their almost tripled budget. Anyway, she makes it all the way to the shuttle, only for that stupid cat to use the bridge speakers to remind her to take her with. The best scene in the movie might have never have happened if it weren't for their extended budget. The shuttle, where the alien is hiding somewhat in plain sight. For some reason, it's hesitant to attack Ripley. Maybe because it recognizes how cautious she is compared to the rest, or maybe it could be because that's the plot. But once they're floating in space, they start to have some semblance of a fight. With her pulling the ultimate attack of opening the airlock. Even then, it holds on to the outside, even going right above the active engine. It's really hard to kill. Sci-fi horror definitely existed before this, but I think this was the first movie that pulled it off in space, not counting 2001: A Space Odyssey as horror. It went on to make what is nearly a subgenre, one of which I'll review next week to finish off Horror Month, Event Horizon. Subscribe to see that review along with many others like it. Hit a like and share this video, and I'll see you next week.